How's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's workshop. Bright sunny day here this morning, but it's minus 17, some chilly. But it's nice in the shop. Plus 12, that's what I have it set at, so that's good. Apologize for the lighting. The sun is shining right in the window here and kind of making a little glare, but I hope you don't mind that. But anyways, you know what? We've been doing a lot of work in the shop the last, well, I'm going to say 6 months or more. You know, renovating, insulating and moving things here and there and doing a lot of woodwork, making boxes, making cupboards and counters and drawers and whatnot, benches. But today we're switching back, going to do some mechanical work. I got the 2010 CanAm XT Max Outlander in the shop here this morning, and I think we have a bad battery, so we're going to take the battery out and check it. So let's get at that. So there's our CanAm. We'll see what's wrong here if I try to start it. Dash flashes up, everything looks good, except, did you hear that? Yeah. My battery doesn't have enough oomph to make it go. So I'm going to do something about that. Okay, the object of our efforts today is this beast right here. We need to get that out of there. So that's just a rubber holding strap to hold it in place. So we move that out of there. Now we should be able to just lift this up and slide it out, but it doesn't seem to want to lift up far enough. So it's hard to get the camera in here, and me too at the same time. So I'm going to work on getting this out, and when I'm finished getting it out, I'll tell you how I did it, and then we're going to check that battery. Alright, so there's my battery. I got it out. What I had to do was, I got down underneath the bike, and there's a couple of holes on the bottom of the shelf that holds this battery in the back of the bike. I managed to push it up just high enough to slide it over the lip of that shelf and slide it out. Then I had to disconnect both the negative and the positive cables off the battery to get it the rest of the way out. It was, yeah, strange. But anyway, there it is. Pretty dirty. But after all, it is an ATV and I don't drive it on the streets, I drive it in the woods, right? You know, the battery was working great all along up until this winter when it got cold out. And then it kind of died. And one thing I don't do is I don't put a battery tender on this battery at all. I just leave it. I've done that for years and years. The original battery in the bike lasted about, let me see, 10 years maybe? Yeah, 10 years, 11 years maybe. The original battery lasted 11 years just doing that. So anyways, I replaced that battery with this one, and this battery didn't last nearly as long because it's only been like 4 years. 3 years maybe with this battery. So I was reading up a little bit about batteries, and I have a battery charger here that it's a, well, I don't know, it's not your little pocket battery charger, but anyways, it's talking about a sulfation mode or desulfation mode. It says if a battery is left discharged for an extended period of time, it could become sulfated and not accept a normal charge. If the charger detects a sulfated battery, the charger will stop and will switch to a special mode of operation designed for such batteries. Normal charging will resume after the battery is desulfated. Desulfation could take up to 10 hours. If desulfation fails, the charger will abort and the red LED light will blink. So that tells me I don't even have to know or try to figure out if this is desulfated or not. I just have to put the charger on it. So we're going to pick up the, it's a 6 amp charge on this, and then we're going to connect the leads to the battery, just like that. It says it should start charging, and if it detects a sulfated mode, it should switch to desulfation and try to repair the battery, and we'll check that in 10 hours. So yesterday I had the battery from the CanAm on my battery charger, and I thought because it had been discharged for a while, maybe it had sulfified, or if that's how you say it, I'm not exactly sure. Anyway, I put it on the battery charger, and the battery charger does an automatic desulfation phase, and they say, you know, it could take up to 10 hours. So anyways, I come out late last night to the shop here, checked my battery, said it was fully charged, and the battery was supposed to be like 300 and something cranking amps. And when I put my tester on the battery last night, even though it said it was fully charged, it measured I think 12.6 volts, but instead of having 310 cold cranking amps, I think is what it's supposed to have, it had something like 64. So yeah, I don't think, well, I know it wasn't enough to start the bike because the bike wasn't starting. So I figured it's time to replace that battery. So first thing this morning, I didn't film all that last night because it was late. And first thing this morning, I hopped in the car, booted her off to town, and I bought myself a new battery for the bike because I can't leave the bike not operational for too long because we need it for a lot of different things around the camp. So anyway, this is the battery I got. It's a ETX 20L 12 volt 17.5 amp hour 310 cold cranking amp batteries. It's guaranteed for 12 months, free replacement. So when you buy a battery, you usually get paperwork with it. So make sure you hold on to your paperwork, because without the paperwork, that 12-month warranty is just about as valuable as the box that it's printed on right there, which isn't very valuable, right? So save your paperwork, so I'll do that. All right, oh, and I tried to figure out what some of these letters meant, the ETX 20L. I wasn't having very good luck. There's no real standard for what those letters mean. There's sort of like an agreement between battery manufacturers that will use this code, but sometimes, you know, some battery manufacturers don't exactly use the code. But anyhow, what I did find out was the first three letters, like in this case ETX, the first couple of those letters, like ET in this case, indicate the manufacturer of the battery. Generally, that's all they indicate. The ET is the manufacturer of the battery. In this case, X, or sometimes you see an H or sometimes a T, that indicates the manufacturer's opinion of how rugged the battery is, right? So in this case, X is supposedly extra heavy duty. Really, the first three letters are inconsequential. The next one, the 20, again, that's an agreement between battery manufacturers that they'll use those numbers to indicate the relative power that's in the battery. Like a 20 battery will have more cold cranking amps than, say, an 18. 18 will have more cranking amps than a 14, but a 22 will have more cranking amps than a 20, that sort of thing. But the 20 really doesn't indicate anything per se. It's just like a floating scale. And then the L on the end of it, from all I could understand, is that means that the positive battery terminal is on the left. No, the negative battery terminal is on the left. I think that's what it means. I don't know, not sure. But anyway, after all my research, I come to the understanding in my own little mind that ETX 20L, it's like a manufacturer's catalog number, right? But it does give a general size, physical size and shape of the battery. It's a 12 volt, 17.5 hour amp hour, and 310 cold cranking amps. So anyways, yeah, let's get on with this. So let me get it out here. There was also a little bit of paper instructions in the battery, and one of the things I noticed was it says output open circuit voltage as it relates to the state of the charge. If it's 12.8 volts or greater, it's a 100% charge. So let's just check it with my meter. They say this was pre-charged at the factory when I bought it at the store. 12.9 is what that's reading now. So I'm going to just go out on a limb there and say this is fully charged. This is a AGM battery. You know, it's a good idea to get an AGM battery for an off-road vehicle because it's bouncing and moving around a lot. Sometimes you run at some steep angles. So because there's no liquid in there that's supposed to keep the plates separated in a battery, it's all this AGM. It's like a glass saturated mat that's between the plates. Then you can put the battery basically in any position you want and it'll still work. Okay, so now I want to test my battery. So I have my little tester here. This is a dandy little thing, this tester, I must say. I'll put a link to the video where I tested this down in the description if you're interested in checking that out. But I heard about these from Steve Robb, from Steve Robb Reviews, and Steve has a lot of good things on his channel, and this was one of them. So you can check out Steve Robb if you want to. I'll put a link to his channel down below. Okay, let's see if we can. All right, we have terminals on, so we're going to do a battery test. We're going to do, it's an AGM flat plate, so I select that. The cold cranking amps are 310, so we do that, and it's testing now. Still testing, and it says 437 cold cranking amps, and it's only supposed to be 310, so we're golden. I think we got ourselves a good battery here, so let's go put it in the CanAm. The battery goes right in here. And we put that strap up over here. And there's the negative lead, and there's the positive lead. Now, When I had this battery in the bike before, I had it situated so that the positive was at the front here, or at the back of the bike. So I was thinking I'd put it back in that way, but really, the manual says it should go in with the positive at the front. So maybe that's what I'll try and do. Positive goes at the front, so now in the manual that I have, it says you can just sort of balance this battery up in here somehow. The beauty of the AGM is you can lay it on its side, I guess, eh? This isn't going to go good. I can see that right off the get-go that this is not going to be a good experience. So if I'm going to put that battery with the positive terminal at the back, that means that this positive cable has to come at it from the middle of the battery. Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mess with this off camera because I got to get down. It's an awkward spot to get at, and I got to lean in there and do a little grunting and groaning, and I don't want you to see me doing all that. So I'll be back when I get the battery installed. Well, boys, I got it in there, and I'm just going to tell you, I'm glad I didn't video it because you wouldn't have been able to see much because I was crawled all in around there like you wouldn't believe. That battery barely fits in there. Why they would design anything that was such a tight fit, I have no idea in the world. When I was on YouTube yesterday looking and researching about the battery and whatnot, I saw a video where a guy had made a modification to his CanAm Outlander where he took the battery and underneath the back seat here, I have a fanny pack on the back of the bike. Underneath that there's a little compartment. The compartment is sealed with a lid, and he had put his battery in that compartment. The reason he did that was because so much trouble trying to get it in here to get it located correctly, and the other thing was, you know, to get access to it. It's in a very vulnerable spot here as far as dirt and water and grime is concerned. So he thought putting it in that compartment would help keep it clean too, and that's a good idea. So I think that's going to be a modification I'm going to research, because this is just a poison location to put the battery, and batteries are something that wear out and need to be serviced, and that is a hard spot to service. But I found that with the CanAm, most everything that you try to service on it, you know, it's a hard bike to service, but it's a nice bike. I like it. It works good. It's rugged, solid, well built, but yeah, hard to work on. Okay, everything's buttoned up. We're ready to go. We'll turn it on. Sounds good so far. Let's see. Starts just like a Honda. Alright, a successful job. So thanks a lot for watching. Sure hope you enjoyed this little video about changing the battery in the CanAm. I tell you what, it's not a job for the faint of heart. It's hard to get at that battery the way it's located under the back seat there, under the back fender. So thanks for watching. Give me some thumbs up. Let me know what you think about that battery location. And have a great week wherever you are, folks. And if you can get out on your ATV, good for you. Go for it. We'll talk to you.